A very good evening to one and all as we welcome you here to the Brian Lara Cricket Academy, where we're getting ready for semi-final number 2 and a chance to get to the final where Presentation College of San Fernando awaits. And of course today the two combatants are Presentation College of Chagaunas, the defending champions, and Naparima College, last year's beaten finalists. So this is a replay of last year's championship game, and I'm sure the boys from Naparima will be hoping that they can just turn the tables a little bit and exact some revenge. So this is a big opportunity for them. And I'm sure they would have been planning to figure out how best to go one better than a year ago. So this is a great opportunity for them, and for them to see if they could really make that step up and get back to the final, or not just get back to the final, but go all the way and with it. Adi Ramsaran with the ball, and first up, of course, he is bowling to the man Mohammed, and Zachariah Mohammed, certainly the man in form, coming off that splendid unbeaten 75 against Fatima College when he carried his bat through the innings. And his partner in crime, Jaden Joseph, also shaped well. And here he is, probably picking up the first boundary of the day. It might just have been a case where the leg might have been touching the ropes, but it was pretty close. And but in the end, I think they will settle for the 2 runs, but it was very, very close to the line. And Bisundat did very well to get around there and to make sure that he intercepted that one before it went over. So just 2 runs. Here it is again, the ball short just outside the off stump, and Joseph showing a real liking for that shot. Not afraid to extend his arms if it's just outside the off stump. Ramsaran again just feeding him those deliveries there, but that's good running. And immediately on playing the ball, you could see the call coming from Mohammed. It's almost like they operate him with some kind of signal, telepathy. They just look at each other and immediately they're off and running. Trying to score off every ball, and that's really a deliberate ploy on their part, because they want to keep the pressure on. They're not wasting any time at all. And here they go again. Just as they make contact, they're off to the races. And that is very, very good to see. Very encouraging for these youngsters. It means they got a good understanding. 6 without loss at the end of over number 1. So Williams it is, or Jordan Julian picking up the attack from the top end. Of course, starting with an extra. I'm sure he would want to tidy up there as quickly as he possibly can. And again, there's no fine leg, or at least nobody back on the boundary, so it's a long chase, and really you're asking for trouble if you're going to attack the pads when you don't have that bit of protection down there at fine leg. You're asking the batsman to feast. And you saw Joseph just flicking him away for a comfortable 2 runs. And that is the overcompensation. He's trying to avoid the pads, but he's bowling. He's pulling it, and he's pulling it so far outside the off stump. And that this is second wide to go along with 1 on the pad, so he has to get the radar working a little bit better. And again, but this time it's picked up beautifully, and that's the first maximum of the innings. Really a gift outside of his legs, and Joseph wasn't going to miss out on that one. Says thank you very much, and just helped himself. So quickly the score pushes on to 16 without loss, and already 10 runs coming off this over, but only 2 legitimate deliveries bowled. That's the maximum, 2 wides and 2 runs down to fine leg. So a bit of a worry here for Julian. He has to find a good line first of all, and again strain onto the pads, and this time, even though it's just a single, you could see him really struggling to get up to the crease there. He wanted to make sure and just get the ball on line, and he almost delivered that right next to the umpire. He just seems so weary of delivering the ball. You could see a lot of discussion there. It happens to the best of them, so you shouldn't feel as if he's alone here. There are great players who've gone through periods like that when they just can't seem to get things right. And this time it's pulled away nicely once more by Joseph, and that's another boundary. So he is really intent on getting after anything short there. Actually, not Joseph, but Mohammed this time feasting there. He just had to swivel, didn't have to go anywhere. It was right there for the taking, and he just helped himself. He goes to 6 now. And the score is quickly on to 21, and we're still in over number 2. And more problems here, and you could see the concern in the young man. He has his hands on his hips, and he's wondering what has gone wrong with his action, with his concentration, just with his technique. And that's part of the concern, I would imagine, at age group level, where they're all in the same boat. So there isn't anybody who you can really look to, who would you say had the years of experience. There they go again, another quick single, very well executed. And these two again have this amazing understanding as they touch the ball. You could see the man, the non-striker, already on the move to complete another comfortable single. 23 without loss. A long over this one. Already 8 deliveries. And he goes again, using the aerial route this time. And is going to be content with another couple. And finally, this over comes to an end. And 25 without loss. 19 coming off that Jordan Julian first over. So 25 without loss after 2 overs. Ramsaran will continue. And here they go again, really just pulling out all the strokes here now. And they probably feel so confident that, you remember he batted through the entire innings against Fatima College last week. So Mohammed is oozing confidence right now. And I think, if memory serves me right, and that's probably the first ball that actually beat the bat in the innings so far. Once again, just that little push, and immediately they're off to the races. So very positive start this from Presentation College of Chagaunas, the defending champions. And this is the man who I'm sure they're looking to take them to a big score. This occasion, they can't pinch that quick single. And not that it wasn't there, but I suppose they just decided why tempt fate. Again, no run. So this has been a pretty decent over. From Adi Ramsaran. And just as I was talking about it being decent, he goes and he spoils it with a half volley right in the slot on the pads. And Mohammed again says, thank you very much, and dealt with it in the most emphatic of fashions. Right for the slug sweep. And he didn't miss out.
And Mohammed, as you mentioned, would have also had a significant score in the North-South Classic on the 19 last week.
The very next day after he led the batting with Presentation over Fatima College. So his form continues, and as we see here, he is back at it again.
It would have been him along with Tariq Richards carrying that innings for, I believe it was the North team. And Tariq Richards played yesterday.
So again, and that's the thing about when you play at this level. Well, I suppose now when you play any kind of cricket now, because franchise cricket allows you to play with and against players, and you just have to go. Here comes Bisunda, and this is going to be tight, and the return was not a good one. The shy at the stumps certainly there was an opportunity there for Badri, the captain, but he couldn't pull it off. It was a little bit of a slow start on the part there of Mohammed. He might have been out. In fact, he looked like he was going to be out if the stumps would have been broken. Unfortunately, he missed it.
Change of bowler Aidan Bisundat. 20 wickets in his 20 matches. Best of 4 for 11.
This bowler has a fairly long run-up. And again, just giving him a little bit of width there. Mohammed getting behind the line of the ball first up. And then just making a little bit of room. And again, and that's good from Badri, just knocking it down. Didn't stop it cleanly, but forced Mohammed to give up on the possibility of a quick single. And here's a loud appeal, and he's gone. Well, he must be thinking, why didn't we take that single? The ball before. So Jaden Joseph is the first to go for 17. Again, trying to play it, probably play it with an open face as opposed to the full face. And caught behind there on the part of wicketkeeper Orozco. He goes to 17.
So it's difficult, those catches for the keeper. So great work for him early here. Break that opening partnership. Restricted to just 35.
But it was still a useful opening partnership. Again, showing good enterprise, good determination. And now it's Ramanan. Cristiano Ramanan is the new batsman. When your parents name you Cristiano, you know they were thinking about sport, not necessarily cricket, but probably the father probably was a big fan of Cristiano Ronaldo and decided, hey, why not just name my son after the great man?
He has the initials as well, CR.
You could see it was a deliberate plan. It is again this time. Bang on target is Bisundat. So he completes a good over, 2 for 1. The end of the fourth over, it is 35 for 1 now.
Ramnanan in his school career, 22 matches, 342 runs, average of 20.12. He's also played a bit of this season down at Clark Road.
And that's good exposure for these youngsters because it allows them to play at a higher level. So when they come back down to this level, they should be very much in the mood to dominate. And I think that's what you see from Zakaria Mohammed. He really looks like he is just a little bit above some of the others. That's why he looks to dominate bowlers. And that's excellent. Again, showing his full repertoire here. And he played that shot earlier, didn't get it through, but this time he was able to just get it past the man at that short third man position. And once it gets past him, there isn't much by way of cover.
Yeah, real delicate shot, real touch and timing there from Zachariah Mohammed. Our fellow commentator Jelani Beckles was also very much impressed with his batting.
Here he goes again. Mightn't get a run here, but certainly it just looked like the confidence. He's just oozing confidence right now. And again, he's trying to play this one, and he too goes caught behind. Again, just nibbling at one outside the off stump. And Mohammed's innings comes to a close. He goes for 19. It's 39 now for 2.
2 wickets falling in a relatively similar fashion.
Yeah, both of them caught behind by Orozco.
And that's not how you expect wickets to fall in a T20 match either.
But, of course, Adi Ramsaran wouldn't mind too much.
Yeah, it shows great accuracy for these 2 off-spin bowlers.
So 35 for 1 now becomes 39 for 2. Presentation, obviously. I don't want to fall into the trap of losing wickets and losing wickets cheaply. And but Riyad Jerome is the new batsman. Another capable young man, and one who I'm sure they'll be looking to here to just kick on a little bit. Obviously has all the tools, just seem to have that a little extra, that split second more time to play his shots. And again showing good touch to get off the mark. And looks to be another confident one as well. So that ends over number 3. And at the end of it, it's 40 for 2 now after over number 5. So it's going to be the man who picked up that first wicket, Biswindat, who is back into the attack now.
You mentioned that longish run-up. I didn't quite take in how long it was in that previous over. I just looked now how far away from the crease he's standing.
Yeah, he takes a while to get into his stride. He walks first. And then he just kind of trots up. No real sort of venom in his approach to the wicket. Just very casual, but very organized. All of a sudden, those push and runs that they were having earlier between Joseph and Mohammed, that has been put to bed, at least for the moment. And this time, they will pinch a single.
Yeah, that wicket came at a crucial time too. Still in the power play. So that would have slowed down the momentum of whatever power play target they had in mind when they chose to bat earlier.
And that's one of the things that the game that has a lot of these youngsters now appreciating, the whole question of trying to score quickly, especially in the power play overs, and to keep the scoreboard ticking over. And that's why we saw so many of those quick singles. And that was a long hop that he almost sort of held back the shot, but still made such good contact that they would be able to complete. But that was really a poor delivery. And just picking it up, Ramanan, and eventually getting a couple runs. Might have been surprised too that how long it took to get to him, so he was kind of waiting on it. A little more aggressive this time around. So real cat and mouse here, and again, because of the length of his run, if you notice, he hasn't adjusted the marker. He's still running from the same spot, but he's bowling right arm through and around. So he's going past the umpire, but going around the stumps. And when he bowls over the wicket, he just runs in a straight line. But it doesn't affect his line too much. He's still probing just on about off stump. And that's where he got his wicket. And that's where he persists. 6 overs completed, so the power play has come to an end. 43 for 2 after 6. So now can they loosen things up here just that little bit? Ramsaran is going to continue. And this one is spooned up in the air. There's a loud appeal. They seem to be confident, but then the umpire is unmoved.
He took off right away.
Yep.
I was trying to figure out if he had bowled him and I missed it.
He was confident that he had broken through. Okay, this is just the adjustment that these two batters are making after losing those 2 quick wickets. This is the little period of consolidation, because those are like half volleys that he's just pushing. And just as I say, so he's a little more aggressive, as if he's working out in his mind. I can't let him keep serving up half volleys and not attacking it. And again, good bit of feeling there from the captain, just running in their battery to change the mind of the batsman from taking that quick single. It's plenty turn there. That delivery was wide outside the off stump. You could see him stepping back there, Jerome, waiting to crash it through the offside. The ball followed him. Sort of cramped him for space there. So that's good bowling. A little bit of generous flight as well. This time, he's hitting it, and luckily for him, he didn't really connect with it, because there is a man position just for the square, but on the boundary. And he picked him out, but he didn't carry to him. So 4 overs completed for Ramsaran. And 1 for 20 from his 4.
Yeah, really impressive spell from Ramsaran, opening the bowling throughout the power play. 1 for 20.
Yeah, 44 for 2 after 7 overs. I suppose presentation Chagaunas probably bat into instructions here. You don't want to lose too many early wickets. It kind of puts everything back. So these two are just trying to consolidate a little bit, trying to keep things tight. As Aiden Bisundat continues.
Bisundat has almost been even better than Adi Ramsaran. 1 for 5.
And he's in his 3rd over. Yeah, so he's has really been the one to stem the run flow. Okay, remember, it was from at this end that Julian bowled that very expensive over that cost him somewhere in the region of 25 runs. So again, Riaz Jerome not able to push the scoring along. You could just hear a few rumblings from the spectators. Cricket fans could be very cruel, you know. If he plays a big shot and gets out, they will condemn him, but yet still, they want him to do exactly that. And big swing and a miss there. But that's the area where his partners before him perished, just outside that off stump, playing deliveries that are not even going to touch the stumps. But again, keeping it very tight indeed is Bisundat. In fact, I think he has adopted the approach. I'm not going to try and do anything fancy. Let them drown in honey if they want to. He's just putting it thereabouts. And asking them to do the heavy lifting. And so far, it's been proven to be a little bit of a challenge for them. They can't seem to break these shackles. 5 balls gone, no run in this over so far. Already his 2 overs prior cost him 5 runs and a wicket. And here's a maiden. So you don't see that too often in the limited overs, for especially T20 cricket. But after 8 overs, 44 for 2 now. And I think the umpires have called for a strategic timeout so that the players can get a little refreshment. But under these cool conditions, this is more a break to get instructions more than it is to get refreshment. So we'll take a break. So after 8 overs, it's a Presentation College of Chagaunas. After they won the toss and upped it to bat, they are 44 for 2. And welcome back, as the players have had an opportunity to refresh themselves and, of course, to get some additional instructions. And speaking of instructions, the man, well, I don't think he's directing anything by way of instructions now, but his work allows him to stay very close to the sport that he loves. So cricket, we have the Minister of Education is here with us, an educator, a lifelong educator, I would have to say. Pittiman is the new bowler, and he is obviously in the ancient Ali mold, left-arm Chinaman googly. So Minister, first let me welcome you to our microphones, and this I'm sure is kind of like a happy space right now.
Thank you very much. I'm so happy to be here, and see the young people of Trinidad. We got a future, out here. And it promotes a sense of discipline.
And it's I mean, for somebody who would have played at this level and played in games like these, it also allows you to, because you make friends, and you make lifelong friends when you play at a level like this, which is so competitive, but it also allows you to grow, to make friendships, even with some of your opponents, because as I was saying earlier, the way the game is played now, you can't afford to have an enemy in cricket, because you play against somebody today and they're your teammate on another team tomorrow.
You're perfectly right. And it allows you also to learn to lose gracefully sometimes. And
this is an opportunity there just to hold that one in, but he just couldn't get under it. It was going to be a difficult catch because it seemed to be dying on him. But they still got a run for it because he couldn't corral it as well as he would have liked. But you were saying, talking about the discipline part of it.
And you learn conflict resolution. There's an umpire on the field so that no matter what issue occurs, you have to resolve it. Otherwise, there could be all kinds of sanctions associated. So you learn conflict resolution quickly.
Yep. And you learn fair play to it. You learn to understand and to respect authority.
And you learn teamwork. One day, maybe the captain, one day the water boy. You'd have to learn the different roles. So there's a sense of humility you learn too, but camaraderie, with your colleagues, like you indicated.
Yep, it is. And, one of the things that I have always said about secondary schools football in particular, and when I see this, I've seen this for so many years because I also went through that as well. You play, and then just as the better students get to that level, they're pulled out of the school setting to play for a national team or to prepare for some kind of international tournament. But it rubs the players, the teammates. That's a very good shot. Again, it rubs the teammates of that opportunity to bond and to grow and to develop and to benefit from the excellence of those other players. And for years, I've been trying to show coaches that. It's the end of another over, 51 for 2 after 9. I've been trying to show coaches that there are ways you could still have access to those players, the better ones, but don't take them away from the school environment because their classmates, this is their World Cup, After
That's
this,
right.
Some of them, they're not doing anything more with football or cricket. So when you pull out the better players, it's like it's not just one kid, you're rubbing the whole class or the whole team of their services and the whole school, because with them, they might be able to achieve great things. Without them, not so great.
But I think, too, we have to start at the primary school. So we identify the talent earlier and expose them to these international global standards. Like this Brian Lara Stadium here.
Mm-hmm.
Playing in this is an awesome thing if you are a young player coming up. And this is where the exposure comes in. It's really important to get them playing at this level.
That's a gift to start things off there, Premchan. Yeah, you're so right. And but what could you do from your level? I mean, you could only advise. You probably can't dictate, or I don't think you're the type of person who want to dictate what the schools should do. But I do think that if you feel something could benefit the schools or even Trinidad and Tobago as a whole, I'm sure you'll be the first one to put your hand up or at least to make a suggestion.
One of the things we are doing is to reintroduce the physical education into the curriculum, at least from the standard 3 level in the primary school.
Okay.
And include it as part of the continuous assessment program for the SEA exams.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's only what is examined sometimes is taught, and so
Right.
we're making sure now. And for those students who are not highly academic, it allows another opportunity together with the visual and performing arts, together with the science, with the emphasis on agricultural science.
Yep.
Yes, so that it allows that all-round development. But more importantly, it allows them to develop the basic sporting skills from primary level and that mindset.
And the other thing, the benefit of that, I would imagine, is that not every, how should I say, outstanding player wants to become a coach. But a player who may not be as successful on the field might turn out to be an even better coach because they went through the same rigors. They have a better understanding. They have a good understanding, I should say, of what they're doing. And they gravitate towards that aspect of it. They may never go on to play in a World Cup or play international sport, but it doesn't mean that they don't understand some of the disciplines that are required to become a good coach. And we've seen that quite a bit now, where some of the better coaches may not have necessarily been the quote-unquote stars on their respective teams.
I agree with that. And one of the things that I think we could look at the power of sport to develop patriotism, patriotic to your team, to your school. And that is something that even if we get the students to come out and support, because having spectators are really important too. There's that whole kind of following that.
Whom he's going to make runs or he's going to take wickets.
That's right.
Sometimes it doesn't always transfer when you go to the higher level. And so we used to say that, boy, we'll bring some cane. We'll bring some cane for you to plant around the oval, see if you make some runs. Cane for you to plant around the oval, see if you make some runs. And but you're right, the community is so important with the development of these youngsters, because you know you met Bernard Julian from Chagaunas, Ancient Ali from Presal, Jumadine from here in South Trinidad. You call the name, you could identify the community, you know, and the community identifies with the player. When they do well, the community does well. People walk the streets with their chests, their head held high, because that person is representing them and representing them well.
One of the things that we have to look at too is the quality of the play fields and the pitches too. You have to allow the youngsters to play on high quality pitches and play fields too, because their standard of feeling has to improve to really progress. And that is something that I'm concerned about, generally in Trinidad and Tobago.
Well, that's why it's so important for them to play on a surface like this, to experience this. And because I remember as a kid growing up, the big thing was to play at the Oval. You always wanted to play at the Oval. So it's not going to be there when they put their hand down, because if they take it,
that's right.
It goes somewhere else. Here's another brilliant shot. He could be out though. No, he's dropped. Really. He was advancing to the ball, got his hands up, but he just couldn't haul it in. Got both hands to it, and it just seemed to burst through his hands, and it goes behind. It goes for 4 runs. So Premchand not happy with that.
And another area is the athleticism of the players. We have to look at their athletic ability. Sometimes even the cricket field if you could sprint fast enough to cut off one run, and you're playing 20 overs, and you save one run per over, that's 20 less. So that's another part. And we need quality physiotherapists, as you indicated. When the young people, they're injured, you need to be able to
rehabilitate
have them recover
quickly.
quickly. Not to lose their momentum, and things like that. So it was great chatting with you.
Yep, it is. It was always a pleasure.
This is one of the things I promote in my years as an educator. Sports, whatever the sports were, especially the football and cricket. And I really admire the parents too, who support their children. And I want to congratulate those parents and encourage them to continue to, because parents play a very big role, in putting out the resources sometimes where the state and the schools will fail.
Yep.
So I think we really need to encourage the parents to continue to support these youngsters.
You have to, because again, most of these youngsters, who's buying the equipment for them? It's the parents.
That's right.
When I look at our young cyclists, I always say, what is the easiest present to give a child at Christmas time? Is a bicycle. So, and that it kind of, almost subconsciously, it's almost like you're trying to get them involved in a sport, and in this case it's the sport of cycling, but it may not necessarily be the sport of cycling, but it's just to keep them active and keep them going. Because think about it, when you wake up Christmas morning, you see a nice red bicycle under the Christmas tree. Yeah.
But I remember a young chap when I was principal at Naparima College, he played a really good football. His name was Nicholas Paul, and then he went into cycling. So he was an athlete that could have both played a variety of sports, and then he chose, so that it increases the opportunity when we expose them to a variety of sports.
Well, that's the other question coaches now have to ask students and student athletes. What other sport do you play or have you played? Because like you said, your hand-eye coordination allowed you to excel, even though you mightn't be the star boy on the team, but you had a good understanding of what to do.
Yes.
And if you played basketball, you know how to jump. You know how to use your feet to get into position, to play defense if you're a footballer, that kind of stuff. So the multiple sports you play actually can help you in the one sport that you probably end up playing professionally, or that you like the most and you gravitate to. But I think now coaches have to start asking that, because I think the science is showing that the students or the youngsters who play multiple sports and have some kind of an idea or some inkling of what to do in those sports somehow end up doing better, because they now have multiple skills to work with. If you want to be a goalkeeper, you should be able to move your legs. Must be able to move your feet. So if you're a cyclist, that's a great shot. They're not catching that one. That one goes one bounce for another boundary. And Jerome now moves into the 20s. So you're right. And I know that it's a lot of work to do, but hopefully incrementally we can get there. And maybe it might just be policy that forces change. And once you get the buy-in from the educators and the games masters or whoever it is, then maybe in time we'll start to see some of the successes that countries like Cuba have been able to get with very, very limited resources. And that's because their programs are very specific. It's almost very scientific. Just pulling it back. That's good fielding there. Again, he dropped the catch a short while ago, but he did well on that occasion to just save a run and deny them the boundary there. 78 now for 2. This is good work here from Ramcharan, just pulling it back. And no question that he got there before going over the rope. So 81 for 2 now after those 3 runs. So, Minister, thanks so much. I know you want to just go and enjoy the game somewhat, so continue the good work.
I'm very happy to be here and to support.
We're so glad to have you. Thanks so much for stopping by.
I want to congratulate all the young people here, who continued. And, just one last thing. We also have to teach them how to deal with their emotions and the psychological pressure that comes with playing sport. And that is the part that's sometimes off the field. So you have to get specialists to work with them to understand that the matches go up and down,
Yep.
and you face different kinds of.
And a lot of the coaches too, they have to be able. There's another big one, and that's another great shot once again. So they're starting to up the tempo again. Presentation College of Chagaunas, the defending champions, and another brilliant shot once again from Ramanan to pick up another boundary as the over comes to an end, and they start ticking over now. 85 for 2 after 13. So once again, Minister,
Right, so
I
thank
know it's
you
a
so
lot of
much,
work.
I'm very happy to be here. And
Thanks so much
Right.
for stopping by.
all right,
Yep.
take care.
So again, he was the star of the show against St. Mary's College. So Pittman, I'm sure, will want to pull things back here with the ball if he gets another over. He's starting to leak runs. So Naldo Premchand will continue. Hoping that this is an opportunity for him to probably break this partnership, because it's starting to become ominous now, Jerome and Ramanan. They came together with the score on 39, and they've now pushed it up to 85 for the same 2 wickets. So they're just trying to make sure that they have all the pieces in place.
Now see Justin Ramner is entering the attack. It's been a good recovery from Presentation College since losing those 2 wickets. Of course, a very powerful batting lineup.
Yeah, they obviously have full confidence.
Both these batters going at a strike rate under 100. So they will want to pick it up in the last 5 overs or so.
Yeah, they've done the smart thing. They haven't lost, a bevy of wickets, and here they are now in the 14th over. So they're getting to that point now where they could, the happy hour is right around the corner. And speaking of happy hour, he must be thinking he missed out there, Jerome. A nice half volley that he was looking to smash through the offside.
Justin Ramner is one of few cricketers who bowl with the glasses on.
Yeah, most of them wear contacts. They don't keep the glasses on, even for batting purposes. Again, he's going to have to hurry, and again, just putting the pressure on the fielder there, forcing the fumble from Mohammed. So again, making sure the field is well set. That was very wide, and he luckily for him, a couple centimeters again. It might not have just been a wide, it might have been a no ball, because it almost pitched on the outside of the playing surface, the pitch surface there, the area. And once you do that, it's like you're bowling on a next strip. And there he goes. Does it have the legs? It does. Right in the slot there. And Cristiano Ramanan says, not today. He got right in line.
Right there in the slot, asking for it. And the crowd have certainly come back to life now.
Yeah, 93 for 2. And this is more like it, they're saying. The Tassa is ringing out. Now, is that Tassa a Naparima Tassa, or there's a Chagaunas, Pres Chagaunas Tassa?
We'll have to investigate during the innings break. I know there's a popcorn machine down there as well.
Yep, and you know we love popcorn. Again, just too wide. Although it passed over the blade of the bat, it touched down outside of that black line, or just a fraction outside of it. Remember, the umpire doesn't have the benefit of a replay, so he's making a judgment call on the spot. And again, but can't get it through. So there really, you could see Ramanan trying to target Justin, hoping to really put him off here. Ramnaresh has to be careful here. Don't want to leak too many runs. 9 already in this over. And again, to make that 10 from the over so far, and he still has one legal delivery left.
And he wants to keep going wide after that 4 was hit earlier on the leg side. So that's kind of pushing him towards that strategy.
Yeah, that's 9 deliveries so far in this over. And finally, he's able to get something on it outside that off stump there. He's played and missed on a couple of occasions. And but the over eventually comes to an end. 11 from it. 96 for 2 now after 14. That's another. Again, they're just not as fluent like the opening pair in terms of the running between the wickets. You would think that ball went just at a meter to the ropes, and they didn't seem like they were too committed to a second run.
Yeah, that's in real contrast to the opening partnership, who were taking every run on offer.
Yeah, they were creating opportunities because they had the fielders on their toes, but sometimes on their heels because they didn't want the ball to go past them. This one could be out. No, it's out of the ground, of the playing area, that is. And another maximum here. Again, it just sort of sat up for him. He waited on it and didn't miss out.
That's new bowler Badri into the attack.
And welcome is how Jerome greets him. And Googly again, but this time they're able to get one and they'll get a second. Two fielders almost collided there. A lack of communication.
Yeah, if one fielder wasn't enough to misfield, the two of them misfielded that.
Yeah, it's mine, no, it's yours. And then it's neither, and here's another force shot. And again, another misfield. So you were just talking about one fielder or two. But here was a case of one fielder out there. He seemed to have it all lined up and under control, and then he just kind of lost his footing. You look here, he seemed to be in control of it here, has everything, and then he just slid. And the ball just went past him there. So Badri wouldn't be a happy man.
Jerome just targeting a different fielder to put off his game each delivery.
Yep, and remember it's nighttime, so there might be a little bit of dew on the surface. And he's bowled him. Is he? Yes, he is. He went right across that one, Jerome, and he's bowled for 40. So Badri has had his revenge.
Oh, that was quite a reaction there from Ria Jerome, or lack of one. Didn't believe it. Badri getting the line right on that occasion. Targeting the stumps and just getting it to turn enough to miss the outside edge of the bat.
Again, he went across the line. Had he gone straight, he probably would have had a chance at connecting. But every so often, they, what we say in local parlance, they take a dip. And when they dip like that, they dip because the head moves. So they then go across the line of the ball as opposed to keeping the head still and then just allowing the ball. It's almost like a golf swing, you know. You keep the head still and you go straight through the ball. So Riyad Ali Khan is the new batter. Here's another very talented young man with both bat and ball, quite capable. But for now, they're going to need him to bring his A game, 109. They might be thinking maybe if we could get in the next 5 overs or so, see how many they can get. And another opportunity there, another misfield. Again, they seem to just be having a little bit of butterfingers there. Ramnarez had that covered. And then almost like going with hard hands, just hit his hand. And going to the end of the over, 15 gone, it's 110 for 3.
Of course, to be fair when it comes to the fielding, a lot of these younger players mightn't have played a lot of cricket under lights. A lot of them wouldn't have played on this ground as well.
Yeah, to have a little bit of butterfly. You don't want the ball to come to you at all. But you can't play a game of cricket and don't expect to have to field at least if you're out in the field. And in a case like that, sometimes all you have to do is just stop the ball, you know. Don't try to be too spectacular. And, you know, obey the basics. Just allow it to get into your hands, stop it, and then return it to the keeper. And I think the coaches would be very happy with that. Of course, if it's a run-out chance and you kind of wait and you don't attack the ball, then there's a different argument. But in the main, what they're asking the players to do, generally most coaches, is just do the basics. Get the long barrier behind, stop it, and return it to the keeper as quickly as possible.
Actually, it's funny you say that because yesterday we almost saw an over-attacking of the run-out. There were so many overthrows from Presentation College San Fernando.
Right. Yeah, that's because so many players feel they can hit the stumps. And here they go again. This is going to be quick, but very well judged. And that's what we saw earlier in the innings when the pair of Mohammed and Joseph were batting. It was just push and run. Keep the scoreboard ticking over. So Ramanan, 23 from 24. I'm sure he'd like to change that a little bit, have more runs than balls faced. 111 for 3, so all the ones. The Nelson, so we'll be hopping on one leg. And that's going to run down the hill there. I don't think they're going to catch that. Another wide delivery. And once it beats that short third man, you're in the money. 115 now for 3. So this is the phase of the game where they'll be looking for runs, trying to squeeze as many as they possibly can. And the captain has decided, hey, better we get a man on the boundary, at least settle for 1 as opposed to 4. He's really flirting with that no ball.
Yeah, real wide attack here. Heavy offside field. 6 fielders in that offside, 3 in the leg side.
Yeah, again, we see so much of this with the pros where they pull those wide yorkers. You can see these youngsters trying to replicate that, and that's fire. He did well to put his hand there and to stop it. Didn't stop it cleanly, and no question about him taking the catch. That was hit with real force, and he did well. He probably saved the umpire's life here, because that was heading straight back to the umpire there. I'm not sure he would have gotten out of the way in time. We might have had a little bit of a medical emergency there had that gone past Ramnarese's hand. And again, so if you can't get the boundary, at least get the single. 118 now for 3. So we're just about 4 overs and 1 delivery left, 1 legal delivery left. It's only now about cashing in here. How many can we get? If they can get to 150, they'll be happy. But that's going to take some getting. And that's more like it. And there is cover down there, so they'll just have to settle for 1. So it's a well-set field. They're not giving up the boundaries, but they are, in fact, keeping it in the park. 119 for 3 now after 16. So the players have had another refreshment break. So we're into the last 4 now. 16 completed, 119 for 3. 149, 150 maybe, but it's going to take some getting. And again, while you want to go, full guns blazing, you also have to be mindful of every time you lose a wicket, it's almost like it's a dot ball. So you want to avoid that. So Prem Chand is going to continue.
So a change of ends for Prem Chand. He had bowled his first 2 overs from the northern end.
He has this peculiar action. He puts up the left hand and it almost stays up there for a long period of time. You look at his left hand, it's almost like it's distracting you as a batsman. Because you're wondering, where is that hand going? Or what is he doing with the hand? But it just kind of, it's almost like it balances him in his delivery stride.
Think to someone else who does that across in India, Washington Sundar.
Is it that pronounced? As his is, his is kind of distracting as a batsman. You look at him and he puts up that left hand and you're figuring, well, what is he going to do with it? For most bowlers, especially fast bowlers, it goes up and then it just comes down, but his stays up there for a long time.
This is what makes bowling so much fun to watch.
And they think for a moment of a second, but they can't squeeze it through. And with every delivery now, it kind of adjusts the final score, the projected score. It was 149 when this over started, but because they could only get singles, 3 of them from the 4 deliveries, that total comes down. And trying to force the issue could be problems, and the catch is taken. So Riyad Ali Khan trying to get on with proceedings here, and he really was in a bind. So he goes for 4, and they've lost their 4th wicket now. And that's a good catch, very well judged in the outfield. So it's 122 now for 4. And again, it's all about keeping everybody on the same page. You see the lot of discussion taking place there as to what is required. So Naps will be happy with how things have gone so far. And Kyle Ramesar is making his way out for presentation College of Chagaunas. And again, they're going to ask him to really try and up the tempo. So Ramanan is playing a good hand here, but they need so much more. They need somebody to stay with him, but also to share the workload. A wicket and 3 runs in this over so far. So that's how that over has ended there. 122 for 4 after 17. So Ramanan on 31 from 29. But I'd like to see him maybe kick on here a little bit more. Probably take more of the strike. And try and dominate. When you're batting as long as he has been, 29 deliveries, you really want him to take charge of the situation and try and maybe off the first 3 balls of every over try and see if he can get a boundary or two. And if he can't, then of course the fallback position is get a single and let the other batsman have a go.
That's something always talked about, getting the boundary early or late in the over.
And this one is in the air. There's a man running in. Two players trying to get to it, but they can't. And now he has to scamper back because he thought for a moment of getting a second run there, but it wasn't to be. And they just had to settle for a single again. He didn't hit it properly, Ramanan, but he got away with it, and that's probably helped him, because had he hit it probably a little bit better, the man running in from long off might have had a sitter.
When it went up, I definitely thought it was going to be taken by someone.
And that's going down leg side, so no real anxiety there for Ramesa. So this is going to be an interesting battle. Remember, the winner here gets to play Presentation College of San Fernando, who took care of business last night against Vishnu Boys. Again, if you can't get the boundary, at least rotate the strike. Keep the scoreboard ticking over. But I'm sure the Presentation faithful, they would want to see the scoreboard jumping up, not just ticking over one by one. They would like to see a couple boundaries here in this, the 18th over and beyond. And that's good bowling. Once again, not allowing the batsman to feast. So Ramnaresh put it in a decent spell here. This is in his third over, just 22 runs scored off him. Doesn't have a wicket just yet.
Yeah, even though his figures might not be the most impressive economy-wise, he's continued with that plan, and it's still very accurate bowling to that plan, because he has no deep mid-wicket, no one behind square on the leg side in the deep. So if his stray is there, could get carried for a lot of runs.
What has helped him too, the batsmen have not been able to do much with those deliveries outside the off stump. When it's closer to the stump, they're more capable, because it's an easy fetch for them. Like that one. And he's gone with it again, and another maximum. So again, the minute he drifts in towards the stump, he pays a price, and he pays the ultimate price here.
Well, the minute we talk about the bowler as well, goes for some runs.
Yeah, you don't want to drift there at all, so close to the stumps. That's bread and butter stuff. So Ramnaresh ends his third over. Not for 28 now, it's 130 for 4 after 18. So just 2 overs left. 12 legal deliveries.
Have to be looking at least 150.
Yeah, another 20 runs from those 12 deliveries. It's 130 now, so you would think 150 has to be the target. And that might have been the target all along. They had a little hiccup when they lost those 2 quick wickets at 35 and 39. And then they had a useful partnership that kind of got them out of the mire. And now the finishing. And they're going to scamper a single here. And a little bit of confusion, a little bit of hesitation as to the bowler, whether he should attack the ball, if he could get to the ball first. But in the end, they were able to scamper a single. 131 now for 4. So Ramanan, who's on 38, is on strike. So this is the man they want to be on strike. And a lot of boundary riders. Is that a no ball? We'll wait to see. They thought for a moment of the second run.
That's hit him on the way back.
Yep. Yes, it is a no ball. I thought I saw the umpire's hand outstretched. So that's going to be a free hit. So you wouldn't want to get a run out off a no ball.
You also don't want to be bowling those as a spinner in the penultimate over.
And that's good cricket. And but again, excellent running. But again, good bit of fielding. He probably didn't hit it as well as he would have liked. It's a free hit, so he would have been trying to pump up the volume in terms of power. Probably lost his timing and his placement as well. So now 134. Can they get to 146? And this one is going to bounce and run into the boundary for 4. So that's more like it there. Ramanan doing his part here to help his team get to that 150 target. And every bit counts here now.
Yeah, nothing out of the ordinary about that shot. Just a proper cricketing shot on that occasion.
And he placed it well. He placed it into the gap. 138 now for 4. So we have 3 deliveries left in this over. Can they maybe pick up another boundary or 2 before the final over? He's up to 43 now. Again, a lot of boundary riders. Long off, deep cover, long on, deep mid wicket, and a man forward of square. And he's gone. This is an almighty hit. That one had some beef in it from the moment it left the bat. And that will help. Another slot delivery there, and he just helped it.
I don't know if he helped it. I think he hurt that ball.
Well, he helped himself. He's up to 49 now, 1 away from a deserved half century. 144 for 4. So the 150 is very much on here. And we still have 2 legal deliveries left in this over.
Just saw a fielder running across from leg side to offside there.
So they've taken out one of the boundary riders on the onside. So every bit counts here now. 145 now for 4. That's his half century. So he did the smart thing. He didn't get too adventurous to make sure he brings up his 50. So 50 from 37 deliveries. So Cristiano Ramanan. So 3 4s and 3 6s for the young man.
Well deserved knock. Did the hard yards early on. Built up the innings. And now he's really looking to unleash that power that we know he has.
So now to bowl the final over. Bisundat is back into the attack. So 146 for 4. They need 4 to get to that 150 mark. And there's a big opportunity. And again, he overran the ball. He was so busy trying to get around to it. He put his head down, probably took his eyes off of it. By the time he realized what was happening, he was gone. He had gone past the ball, and then trying to reach back for it, slipped again, and another 4 runs. So that brings up the 150. And again, another brilliant shot. And that's another boundary. So back-to-back boundaries now. And he's really pulled the choke, as they say. And now he's going for everything. And that's a powerful shot. The one before, he got his hands to it. Not on this occasion.
He's targeting all areas of the ground now.
So 154 is it now?
154 for 4. He's spoiling Bisundat's figures.
And again, that's a good shot, but there's a fielder feeling in what we call long stump. And that was really asking an awful lot there, because the fielder had the ball in his hand, and all he had to do was get the ball back to the bowler, which he did, and Bisundat had the simple task of going. So Ramesar goes run out for 3, but he won't mind that too much. So again, just allowing the ball to bounce, not in the orthodox or approved fashion. Jeremy Singh knocked it down with his legs, but he kept it in front of him, and that was the important thing. So that would have been the fall of wicket number 5. And again, another brilliant shot. But again, they're going to go back for the second one. He's going to have to hurry. This time, he doesn't haul it in. It was almost a carbon copy for him. All he had to do was accept the ball. On this occasion, it just seemed to burst through his hands. Joshua Joseph lives to fight another day. And again, that's a brilliant shot. That's a masterful stroke. What a brilliant effort here at the end of this innings. He's really taken the game by the scruff of the neck and continues to pepper the boundary. So that should push the score now on to 157. Or 161 for 5.
They're really putting in some good work here in these last few overs. Presentation College Chagaunas.
Down the wicket he goes again. They're going to try to run for a second. They should get it. And that's good running. Excellent running again. And they're going to force a third run. Well, what looked like 1 was forced into 2. And then they ended up getting a third one.
Yeah, absolutely love to see that on the final ball of any innings. You keep running until you can't run anymore. Doesn't matter if you get dismissed by a run out at that stage.
So it's 164 for 5. And Ramanan was 59 not out. So a brilliant effort on his part.
Yeah, 68 not out. Very
So
brilliant innings
68,
from
yep.
Ramnanan, wicket-keeper batter, and stand-up performer in that batting innings by far.
Yeah, so this is not what Naparima would have scripted. I'm sure they would have been thinking under 150, and for a moment they looked like they were going to limit them under that. But when you look back at it, after the 17th over was 122, and after over number 18 they eventually got that boundary and they got to 130. But then in the 19th over, 146 for 4, and now in the final over, a couple more boundaries in there to take it to 164 for the loss of those 5 wickets. So it should be an interesting chase. But again, you probably would have, if I was a betting man, I'd probably put my money on Presentation Chagaunas, not only as the defending champions, but based on the strength of their bowling attack. I just feel that they have that little extra that they could rely on, even if things get tight with Naparima, and of course with Pitman, who had that brilliant score in the quarterfinal. I'm sure they'll be looking to him to get them over the line again. So one of these two won't make it to the final like they did a year ago. Which of the two is it going to be? Presentation Chagaunas, or is it going to be Naparima to face Presentation San Fernando? Only time will tell. That game is coming up next week, Friday, right here. And but we still have the Naparima reply. They're chasing 165 for a victory. We get to their reply when we come back. And welcome back as we get ready for the second half of this encounter. Remember, Chagaunas made 164 for 5, and now it's up to Naparima to get to 165 for a victory. And that's not going to be easy for them, but I'm sure they will be thinking that they have what it takes to get the job done. So it's going to be Roberto Badri who is going to try his best here to get his team. Jordan Julian is there with him. And immediately they're off and running. And there's another youngster who's named after another great footballer. Or is it the Roberto who is a boxer in Roberto Duran? And just a little too far down that leg side from Danraj. Had 4 wickets against Fatima College a week ago.
Yeah, Danraj, a spectacular bowler for Presentation College Chagaunas. I'm looking at his stats here for school matches, and it's quite astounding. 48 wickets from his 18 matches. Best of 6 for 16.
Yeah, he's been a real handful for batsmen.
Not something Presentation College would certainly value, is having runs on the board in a semi-final such as this.
Yeah, that's always the key here, is the scoreboard pressure, and especially if you can prize out a few early wickets. That's the one thing Naps cannot afford, to fall too far behind the asking rate. And good fielding again, keeping the pressure on, limiting the batsman to just the 1 run. So there's Jordan Julian, who bowled at 1 over that was very expensive. 25 runs he conceded. A mixture of boundaries and wides. He bowled just the 1 over. Never brought back into the attack, despite 8 bowlers being used. And here is a bouncer. And you'd have to call it a bouncer, because I'm not sure what Danraj was thinking there. And
He's taken some inspiration from Krunal Pandya in the IPL. He's been bowling quite a lot of bouncers. He's a left-arm spinner himself.
But it was nicely helped on its way by Badri for the first boundary of the innings. 7 without loss, or 8 without loss rather, at the end of over number 1.
As you say, very well played. The point of that delivery for any spinner is mostly to surprise the batter. So once the batter gets a hold of it, you know who won the battle.
Surprise lost. So Danraj had his figures spoiled there with that last delivery. Really, it's something out of the blue. One would have to say he just seemed to run up and I don't know if the ball stuck in his hands, what it is he was trying to do there. Like you say, maybe he went for the surprise element. And surprise, surprise. So Jerome is going to pick up the attack from that southern end. Rear Jerome. So the one thing Naps really don't want, they don't want to lose really wickets. That's kind of like paramount here. And then they don't want to fall behind in terms of their run rate. So they have to keep scoring, keep the scoreboard ticking over. And just to give you an idea, in their first 6 overs, Chagaunas were 43 for 2. So I'm sure Naps would probably want to match that first up. That's very well played again, similar to what we had with the opening pair of Mohammed and Joseph for Chagaunas, where they were running almost every ball. If they couldn't score a boundary, they were at least turning the score over with quick singles. Again, another quick single taken. Good running once again to come back for that second run. They were pushing hard for the first one. And the second one, again, you could see real intent on the face there of Battery. He was the man going to the danger end. Found that extra gear to get him home. Big swing and a miss there, but again the deliveries off the stump somehow seem to be the ones causing the biggest concern or the biggest problem for the batsman. Time and again we see so many of them not able to time the ball very well once it's pitched outside that off stump. End of the over. 13 without loss after 2 now. So not a bullet start, but a reasonable start. 13 from 2. But they haven't lost a wicket, which is probably the first objective here, is to preserve wickets. And even if you have to go hard later on with wickets in hand, that becomes an easier task. Or should I say, could become an easier task. And here's a good shot, and that is going, and it's gone. So the first maximum. And that's the big man there. Like I said, he didn't do well with the ball, but Julian has something to prove here with the bat.
Yeah, there was no real turn on that delivery. Just came onto the middle of the bat, and as soon as you heard it struck here in the ground, it was real powerful.
Downwards again from 2 and around, and again a little bit of bubbling in the field. The ball went straight to the man there, and he just couldn't pick it up in time to probably effect a run out. And those are just the little things that can make all the difference, especially when you're defending a total. So Dhanraj, deep in thought here. Don't think he's bowled as well as he would like. I'm sure he would be expecting a wicket by now. Nothing doing. And again, Dan Raj tightening up here now. That's a good shot, but it's only going to get a single, but it's better than another dot ball. So 21 without loss at the end of over number 3.
Yeah, not a bad start from Naparima College in search of getting towards this target.
Yeah, Dan Raj's 2 overs have cost him 15 runs. That one ball that went for the boundary in the first over, the bouncer. And then the first ball of this over, his second over, the one that sailed over long on for a 6. Those are the 2 big scoring shots. So 10 of those 15 runs came off just those 2 strokes. Here they go again with another quick single. As a bowler, those are annoying singles because it doesn't even go out of the circle, and they finish in a comfortable single. So again, I think presentation are just applying the wait and see approach here right now. They're just trying to almost play on the patience of the Naparima batsman. Try and force them into error, almost like a battle of attrition. Keeping it simple, keeping it in front of them, trying not to give up too many boundaries early on. But this young man is determined, Julian. And he goes again, just gets it into the gap and gets it down to that deep backward point position for 4 runs.
Oh, really well played. It's a bit wider and just had enough room to put that one away.
Got it over the head of the man close in. Once it cleared his head. So 28 now on the board. At the end of, not the end of the over, they still have a couple of deliveries left. So Julian is up to 17. He's leading the charge here for Naparima. And there's another big one. There's a man running back, but I don't know if he's going to get there, and he doesn't. It just bounces in front of him. And they're able to complete 2. But again, with the restrictions, there is a man out at deep cover point, and then there's a man at long off. So the man at mid on is in the circle and had a long chase. The ball is in the air for a long while, but he couldn't get under it. So again, good, sensible cricket. Just got away with a big aggressive shot, and this time he decided to temper that a little bit. Push for a single. The end of the over, 4 got completed. It's 31 without loss. Perez trying to effect a breakthrough. Can they get that winning formula? They tried Dan Raj. He hasn't been at his best. So they'll probably go to somebody else. Riyad Jerome also couldn't effect the breakthrough. So now they passed on the responsibility to Joseph. So Jaden Joseph, who opened the batting, is now first change with the ball.
And more left arm spin, 15 wickets from his 22 matches. Best of 4 for 16.
So he is capable. Immediately the umpire spreads his wings, so he's being consistent. We saw a lot of them in the presentation innings. Again, good batting. If it's not there for the big hit, then, as I say, take what the bowlers are giving you and just take the single.
Yeah, Julian has been very smooth at the top of the order here.
So 33 now on the board. Need a further 132, but they have 93 balls in which to get those runs. Plenty of balls to work with. That's in the gap. That's very well played. And that's 4 runs. So Roberto Badri not seeing a lot of the bowling, but when he gets his opportunities, he's taken full advantage. He's into double figures now. He's up to 13. And again, into the gap it goes, but this is good fielding, having to cover a lot of ground there, Riyad Ali Khan, but he did well in the end. And there's another big one. There's a man running around. Can he get there? Just out of his reach. And again, not for the first time, we've seen almost the identical location over that wideish long-on position or wideish mid-on, and having to run, the man at mid-on having to run across and just not able to get to the ball. And like a wedge shot in golf, it just hits the ground and dies right there. 40 without loss now after 5. So Julian goes up to 23 with those 2 runs. Badri's on 14 at the other end, steady as normal. He's allowing his teammate, his opening partner, to do the heavy lifting early on. So Kanta Singh is into the attack now. So UV Kanta Singh.
So first sightings of leg spin here.
Yep. And he starts off with a wide.
Still relatively new to this team as well. 4 wickets in his 2 matches. All those 4 wickets coming in one spell.
Yep. And when he's on, it's almost unplayable. But he does give the batsman some freebies, short balls.
Yeah, those leg spinners usually take a bit of extra time to develop.
And again, good cricket. Smart, not allowing the bowlers to sort of work on any one batsman for any extended period of time. Changing things up nicely. Again, good anticipation. So it's almost like both innings are mirroring each other. We saw this aggressive running in the first innings, and here we're getting another example of it in the second. And would you believe, after 5 overs, they were 40 for 2. Yes, Dowd up here, and he's out, LBW. He went right across it there. He's not happy. And Julian, but he goes for 24. And Kanta Singh finds the breakthrough.
Yeah, well, as you say, when he's on, he's on. And that was a brilliant delivery. Just trapped him on the pads, trying to play that sweep shot. Seemed like he wasn't quite picking it, and just bowled one that pretty much went straight on.
Yeah, I don't know. He was very upset, but you know, once you play across the line like that, you expose yourself. And he did precisely that. So Adi Ramsaran is the new batsman.
Yeah, terrific stats here in his matches. 21 matches, 802 runs, average of 44.5, strike rate 120.
So he opened the bowling, and now he's batting in that number 3 position. So a lot of responsibility being placed on his shoulders. And isn't it ironic that both teams are losing wickets at about that 4th, 5th over stage? So that completes the over. 6 overs completed, and at the end of the power play, it's 44 for 1. And if you to do a quick comparison, after 6 they were 43 for 2 for Chagaunas. So Naps 1 better in terms of a run. And of course, they also lost a wicket less, 1 as opposed to 2 from Chagaunas. So things shaping up quite nicely here. Can Naparima keep the pressure on?
Joseph for his second over now.
Gonna have to hurry, but once again, fielders not able to corral the ball quickly. And that can make all the difference. A bubble here, a bubble there, and you know, players putting their hands up apologizing. But if enough players do that, it means the batting team will get away with quite a few fumbles and maybe misfields. So you want to avoid as many of those as possible. Ramsaran is a fairly big man, powerful. They go for a single, he's going to have to hurry, and again, a little bit of indecision there in the field as the who would attack the ball. Now, they all cannot attack the ball because somebody's going to have to give cover, but they need to work out whose responsibility it is to really close that space quickly.
It's 4 fielders there in quite close proximity.
Yep, so they need to work out the mechanics. And again, we see them practicing a lot of boundary stuff, but it's the normal things inside the area there that can make the world of difference. That's a great shot. That one goes screaming down to mid-off, to long off, and it hits him and goes over the line. What should easily have been a single turns out to be 4 runs.
Yeah, that one was a real jaw dropper in the field.
Seemed to have everything behind it until he didn't.
You see the keeper there as well was not too pleased with that.
Yeah, it could be deflating for the bowlers.
Brings up the 50 with that shot as well.
And again, playing smart cricket. Already got the boundary, so take that. 51 for 1 now after 7. When you look at where presentation were after their 7th over, that was when the innings went into a little bit of a lull as they consolidated after losing those 2 early wickets. They were 44 for 2 at the same stage. So Naps in a nice groove here now, 51 for 1. But again, Naparima has to be mindful. Presentation had that big surge at the end. Okay.
Definitely too wide on that occasion.
Yep. So Kanta Singh. He's going to have to hurry here. And again, the ball is lost. So it's almost like it's a hot potato. And they can't seem to hold on to it. We saw a lot of that in the first innings when Naps were in the field, and it's almost like a carbon copy from Prez. There's a quick delivery there, turning away.
All that Naparima College have to do in this middle phase is just try to keep on par or slightly ahead of where presentation would have been throughout, because as you mentioned, there was that slowdown.
And this one is in the air again, but it's going to fall safely. And they're going back for a second. No, this could be dangerous here. But again, he recovers in time. He put the brakes on. And he was really asking for a second run, screaming going down there. But Ramsaran was sent back. And it proved to be a very good decision in the end. And he's probably misstumped there because, again, not reading which way the ball is turning. He was groping at it. It just seemed to jump out of his crease, but then the ball wasn't taken clean, so he got back. Short ball, dealt with. And again, it's one of the vagaries of leg spinners. They often produce short balls or rank long hops like this one. And Ramsaran didn't miss out there. So that's the end of over number 8. And at the end of it, he goes to 9, 19 to Badri. And Naparima, so far so good. They're 57 for 1 after 8 as the players get a breather. So Cristiano Ramanan, who played a brilliant innings with the bat, is now being called upon to be just as brilliant with the ball, as he is into the attack now. So Cristiano Ramanan is operating from the northern end. He'll be bowling first up to Badri. And Badri flicks it a little bit uppishly, but he's going to get a couple of runs. No, they decide one is enough here. I remember both teams have had an opportunity to assess where they are. Coaches probably having a big discussion with them. And so let's see which team talk worked the best. And Naps have really enjoyed this run chase so far. Prez looks a little bit off color, put off by the ease with which Naparima have been able to score these runs. Still have some ways to go, but 58 after 8 overs and 2 balls is pretty good. And this was about the stage where presentation, they had their little drop in scoring. There was a maiden over included in there. So they had to work their way back. But right now, Naps are just cruising.
And we see right now Cristiano Ramanan in the attack. So a lot of skills he has. Scored 50 with the bat earlier. Can also keep wicket. And showing off his medium pace here as well.
That's well played again. But again, limiting the batsman to just the 1 run. I don't think Ramanan would mind that too much. Just 2 runs off the over so far. Can he finish it up nicely now? Probably with another dot ball, or at least a single. Or should I say at most a single. And that's another good shot. Over the top it goes, but again the field is very well set with that man out there, that long off position. So they're limited to just the 1 run. So 3 runs off that first over from Cristiano Ramanan. 60 on the board now. So after 9 overs, it's 60 for 1. So a lot of these youngsters are probably watching a lot of the IPL or the Pakistan Super League, seeing some of the best players in the world in action. So can they replicate some of what they're seeing? That's nicely played, and this is going to take some effort here. But again, good work from Ali Khan to track it down. So now they've decided they're going to try and plug that gap a little bit. Put the extra man and that just behind the bat there. So we have a short third man, and we have a short backward point, and we have a short point. So all 3 of them almost in a line at the edge of the circle there. And again, but they can't get it through, but they'll get the single this time. And Kanta Singh probably guilty of bowling just a little too short. But I suppose he doesn't want to over pitch it and get carted away. But he's been a little bit on the short side. This time the umpire calls a wide. The wicketkeeper and bowler look bemused by it. Once again, Kanta Singh short, and the batsmen are playing him almost primarily off the back foot. Would be interesting to see if he pitches one up and see how they deal with it, having to play on the front foot for a change. Once more, it's on the back foot, so it's almost primarily back foot play, and they seem quite at home and quite at ease with that. 65 for one rather at the end of over number 10. So when you compare that after 10 overs, Chagaunas for 57 for 2. And that's when Ramanan and Jerome were stitching together a nice partnership. Again, nicely played. A little bit risky, but played well in the end. So that pair put on 69 runs for the third wicket. This pair trying to match that, but for the second wicket. And so far, so good for them. They're just building. 44 scored when they lost their first wicket. That of Julian, LBW for 24. Kanta Singh was the bowler then. And that's another powerful shot. Can they get the second? No. Well, they don't need to run for the second because it went right through the gate. Have we seen that before? Really, it should be cutting that off easily. The ball is just bouncing. They're going its merry way. And just like that.
That's one of the worst offenders. Was a very simple pickup on the boundary there. Ball didn't really deviate or bounce awkwardly.
Yeah, Kyle Ramesar, the guilty man there. The good thing is that the players know what they should be doing, because you see the coaches going through the drills with them all the time, and that is going to run away for 4. Thick outside edge. Nobody there. So it doesn't matter how they come, as long as they come. So back-to-back boundaries.
Yeah, it didn't look as if that's where he intended to play that. Bit lucky.
Yeah, because when you're flashing the blade like that, sometimes you might get a thick edge or thin edge, as was the case there. And just flicked away again, just out of the reach. And another comfortable single. So after 2 singles to start the over, followed up with 2 boundaries, and now they're back with the singles again. So 11 off the over already. And this one is carted away into the gap. It goes, and it's a brilliant catch. What a catch. He had to run a long way. And Badri has to go for 25. But what a fantastic catch that is out in the deep.
Yeah, it seemed he took some pace off that delivery as well. Went for the big shot. And very well taken on the boundary. Had to stabilize himself as he landed there and did a brilliant job of it. And just when Badri was starting to go a bit quicker, get a bit more rhythm into his innings, hit some boundaries, well, has to go now.
Yeah, so 76 for 2 now. And so is this the breakthrough that presentation wanted? Can they keep taking wickets? That's the important thing here now. Pitman, this is the danger man. Coming off that splendid innings against St. Mary's College, so they'll be hoping that he is still in form. 63 from 50. 4 fours and 2 sixes. How they would love to get a repeat of that today.
Amrit Pittiman now in the crease.
So 76 for 2 as we start over number 11. But it's going to be Ramsaran who is on strike. And again, even though there was a slightly fuller delivery, the batsman still opted to go into the back foot. So they've gotten so used to playing off the back foot. It could be because they're not reading him, so they're just giving themselves as much time as possible. And a little bit of a French cut there. Again, probably not reading which way the ball is turning.
And you definitely don't want to be playing on the back foot more often to the spin and get trapped.
So Pitman, left-handed, rangy type of player. He's not the biggest in terms of physical size, tall. And immediately you could see him trying to put back the ball. That was a nicely flighted delivery. Kanta Singh is in the air, and did he catch it? No. Well, he seemed to have it, and then it just fell out as he hit the ground. What a brilliant effort that would have been. That would have been a brilliant catch. Probably would have been better than the one before. Because this one spooned up in the air. You could see him getting under it. Just got his hands to it, and he couldn't hold on to it this time. So Pitman gets a life early.
Yeah, and that's a crucial blow. You want back-to-back wickets. Defending this total would have really put them on the front foot, Presentation College.
This one is India this time. This time he drops it. Well. An easier catch this time around. And would you believe he put it down? So Pitman is living a bit of a charmed life here. This really should have been taken. And that's the man who got the wicket the last ball, Ramanan. And this time he couldn't haul it in. So it's the end of an eventful over. Kanta Singh could easily have had a wicket or two. And he now has 1 for 16. It's 77 for 2 now after 12.
Well, Kanta Singh is going to be asking him, well, the first one you might have said it was too low. This one you're going to say it was too high.
Maybe he needs one flat straight at him.
And he'll say that one is coming too fast at him.
Well, Kanta Singh will say, listen, I might as well just bowl on the man myself. Yes? Because
Well, that's how you got the first wicket LBW.
So there's a man with a big number. 999. So Ali Khan is into the attack.
A very belated entrance into the attack in the 12th over here. Required rate at exactly 11 now. So he has that extra pressure to work with.
Yeah, and things are getting a little bit tighter now. It was 72 for 2 after 12. Here Naps are just slightly in front, 77 for 2.
Yeah, they want to get a bit more in front here because it's going to be hard to match the last 2 overs that Presentation batted.
And again, it's a predominantly spin attack from Presentation Chagaunas. So Riyad Ali Khan is coming in to again with his wrist spin.
A bit of a loosener to start, a bit wide, no real turn on it.
And the wicketkeeper seemed to be blinded there and missed it completely. And that should be byes. And it is.
You know, Ramsaran was fully blocking keeper right there.
Yeah, but he had a good look of it because the batsman went so far outside the off stump that the wicketkeeper would have seen the ball, most of its travel, most of its trajectory. He just missed it completely in the end. So they're seeing what Ramsaran is attempting. He wants to attack maybe the onside. So they need to, and this is where the adjustment is. So they're going to pull the man at mid wicket, putting square up. In fact, they would be smart to put him behind square, because if he's going to swivel into the wicket, he's aiming for behind to the right of the umpire. And well, he tried to change it up here. So a real cat and mouse going on here now. He decided he wants to go with the reverse now.
Well, that's a risky option because of that man at backward point, just in the ring.
Yeah, they have 2 of them right there looking. But that's more like it. Get the single. And however, Amrit Pitterman seems to be like a man in a hurry. He hasn't really allowed himself to settle. He seems to want to play every shot in the book here now. And already he has had 2 possible dismissals, 2 catches, but he's still there.
And after all of that action in the previous over, he's now off the mark.
Yep, he was really trying to hammer the ball and couldn't seem to connect properly with it. And maybe that is what helped him out, because he kind of, the one was a diving effort trying to come forward. The other one was he just spooned it to cover point. And the fielder bailed him out with a bad miss. Real butterfinger stuff. So Ali Khan just making sure that the field is well set. And I think they will comfortably take that single, and that ends the over. 82 for 2 now at the end of 13.
Very tidy over from Ali Khan, his first over. 15 wickets in his 10 matches, best of 3 for 34.
You wanna hear something? At this stage is when Presentation sort of started to move again, and they were 85 for 2 at the end of 13 overs.
It was around this stage when Pittyman himself was in the bowling and Ram Narees was just being introduced.
Yeah, so Riyad Jerome is back into the attack now. First 2 overs cost him 15 runs, no wickets. And how you would like to add something in that wickets column. Naps, though, will want to probably target him a little bit. See if they can get at him before he settles. And again, another opportunity here for the wicket, and they can't seem to hold on. Now that would have been difficult because it was hit hard.
For the second time in the match, we've seen the umpire being right in the firing line, and it's been from both ends, so both of them have been.
Again, he got his hands to it, but he couldn't hold on. And sometimes you just have to get out of the way of fire. So Ramsaran now beginning to take charge. But this is the man that Naps would want to get cracking here. Amrit Pitman had that splendid effort against St. Mary's College. Can he replicate that or something close to it? Hasn't started all that confidently, but sometimes all it takes is one good hit and everything sort of clicks after that. Here he goes, and again he's not able to really hit it hard. I don't think he was attempting to hit it out of the ground, but he was again using the aerial route. So he's giving the bowlers a little bit of a chance. But so far, so good. Ramsaran again. And they're going for the second run. They will get it too. So we've seen so many instances where fielders could cut the ball off, or they just seem to fall down, stumble, lose their balance, slip, and from both teams, not just one. That's a nice pickup.
And of course there was those fielding inconsistencies yesterday as well. I think something that a lot of the youth cricketers just in general should work on is a bit more fielding. Fielding is important to pretty much every ball in the game.
Especially in the T20 format, the shortest format. 1 over could change everything.
Yeah, and it's a bit understated how important it is in that format, because it's from a viewer's perspective, from a fan's perspective, from a up-and-coming cricketer's perspective. So much of the batting and bowling tends to be glorified, and the fielding just seems to be part of the work as well.
No, and that's the funny thing about fielding, is that is something you could work on, probably with one other person, with a coach, or even by yourself, you're catching. You could throw the ball up and just learn to catch it, hit it against a wall and let it come back to you at an angle or whatever. And you could do that. We have slip catching machines where you could pack, put 50 balls in the machine and just try and catch everyone, whether you're simulating slip catching, let it come at you at different heights or different angles. And so there's a lot that as an individual that you could do to improve yourself. I don't know if you know the name Eugene Antoine, a former Trinidad cricketer, with the 2 brothers, Giles and Eugene. And when Eugene first came on the scene, you know, he just couldn't feel the ball. And now he wore glasses, so we felt the glasses had something to do with it. You know, but he worked and worked and worked at it to the point where when he finished his career playing for Trinidad and Tobago, he was actually a very good fieldsman. So it meant he put in the work. This one is in the air. There's a man settling under it. And this time he takes it. And boy, you could see relief there on Joshua Joseph's face. Ramsaran goes for 30.
Well, they must have heard about this fielding discussion we were having here and said, let's step it up. We had Ali Khan with his first wicket now, going for that big shot, Ramsaran, and not having enough power to clear that fielder.
And that's one of those catches where the fielders debate whether to catch it regulation style or catch it with the fingers, the palm pointing up. He went for the what we call the Australian method, to take it with the palms facing up, and really cradled it very nicely indeed. But the principle is the same. When the ball is coming, you kind of like have to withdraw your hand, so you trap the ball into your hand. You don't push your hand at it. You let the ball come into your hand. So anyhow you're taking it, it has to be the same principle. It's just like I say, either you take it with your palms open like that, with the traditional way, or you take it with the palms, more or less the heel of the palm facing up. And he opted for that, which is what you call the Australian method. And he did it well. He did it well because that ball was in the air for a long time. All sorts of things could be going through your mind when the ball is in the air like that.
Yeah, that's always the thing with those balls that go very high up in the air. That extra time leaving your mind to wander. And of course, those different methods of catching, it's something that's difficult from a viewer's perspective until you say just take like a small softball at home and try to just throw it up and catch it. Usually anything under the eye line tends to be easier to take the traditional way, but if you're going a bit above the eye line, then the Australian method becomes a bit easier.
And it is because, and like I said, once you observe the principle of trapping the ball almost, just let your hand, you're timing the ball then. As it comes, the speed at which it's coming is the same speed you want to get there. And hold on to it, close the gate at the right time. Another quick single, and nothing the fielders can do about it. So Bisundat is off the mark. So Ali Khan 1 for 4. He's in his second over right now. Bowling his Chinaman googly. He's not spinning the ball as much as say Kanta Singh was. He's what we call a roller more than a spinner. This one is in the air. Who is going to get there? He's settling under it. Takes it again. Going for it in again with the fingers pointing up to the sky. And Rhea Jerome takes this one. Pittiman goes for 2. He never settled.
Well, the wicket's falling quickly here now. Game actually bearing a resemblance to last night's game where the chase seemed pretty much on par for the first 10 overs, but then wickets just fell pretty much every over afterwards. This time going for a big heave into the leg side, that ball going away from Pittiman, and that being his undoing in the end.
Yeah, he never really settled. He had those 2 chances in the previous over, and I suppose he just tried his luck once too often and paid the price. But I'm sure the Naps faithful would have been very disappointed because he never looked like he wanted to stick around. He just wanted to go and put bat to ball. So Arian Mohammed So Aryan Mohammed is out there now. So all of a sudden, Ali Khan has come in and picked up 2 quick wickets. 2 wickets for 4 runs. 10 balls.
I was definitely excited to see this Ali Khan. Impressed me the first time I saw him up in Pres Chagaunas ground.
Here they go again, and still not reading the spin. And Aryan Mohammed somehow kept it out. Went behind him, went past the keeper as well. And that's better, right under his eye line, kept his eyes on it. And played it well. So finally, a very eventful over comes to a close. 2 wickets in it for Ali Khan. At the end of his second over, he has 2 wickets for 5 runs. And after 15, it's 91 for 4. And a quick comparison, presentation Chagaunas were 110 for 3 at the same stage.
Yeah, with that comparison, you see the game really starting to slip away from Naparima College now. Required rate 14.8.
It's going into trending in the wrong direction for them. Hey, but maybe they have a Ramanan somewhere in their lineup, somebody who could come and take the game by the scruff of the neck, a Kyrod Pollard type.
Well, even so, Ramanan took quite a bit of time to get into his innings. Whoever can take Naparima College Day is going to have to do it a lot faster.
Yeah, we need a microwave. Quick. Can't dwell on too many dot balls, or you can't even soak up too many balls. And that's a wide signal by the umpire. So coming into the attack here now, Kyle Ramisa.
He's quite a impressive bowler when it comes to this late period of the game.
And again, he's right outside the off stump, but this time not called a wide. Batsman had a big almighty swing at it. And must be wondering, well, how the one before was called wide and this one wasn't. So
Packing the offside field.
So Mohammed waits. And again. And isn't it strange that both innings we saw batsmen struggle with deliveries off the stump, trying to get outside the off stump, and minuscule luck out there in terms of catching up with those wide deliveries. A couple were called wides, but in the main, batsmen were having a tough time scoring. And again, so it seems like the bowling off the line of the stumps is working better than if you attack the stumps, because then the batsmen, they don't have to go very far to reach it. They just swing the bat in that general area of the stumps.
Yeah, when you're trying to play those shots as well, the ball tends to be further away from your body, so you have to transfer that momentum a bit more effectively to get a hold of that.
And again, look at where he's swinging. The ball is being angled slightly across and starting wide, and then it just kind of straightens on its way through. But he's trying to hit it maybe over long on, possibly over wideish long on. When in really, you should really be aiming to hit it over long off. So go with the angle as opposed to going against the angle. And that's good bowling again, just outside that off stump. And Aryan Mohammed is having his issues out there.
I really enjoy this Kyle Ramesa when it comes to depth bowling and bowling throughout the middle overs in a 50 over game. He's really impressive with that accuracy and always seems to get something on the ball, even when not much is going on.
This one is in the air, but it's just wide of the short extra cover. And but you'll get a single all the same, and Mohammed must be breathing a huge sigh of relief that finally he was able to catch up to one and got a single. So Ramesa, 2 runs off his first over, 93 for 4 now after 16. So welcome back here. The players again having a little bit of a breather, an opportunity to assess, reassess, and see where we go. Especially Naparima, they need somebody to put his hand up and do something special. And that is not going to help here, but you could see the intent here, trying to swing right across the line. There is a man at deep square leg, just slightly forward of square. Again, it's that each way turn that Ali Khan is generating that is causing the problems. That's well played, and that's 4 runs. Very well played in the end. Again, he probably didn't hit it exactly where he wanted to, but it spooned off the bat, off the face of the bat, and went down behind the fielder. Had to run a long way to his right, and just couldn't catch up with that one.
Yeah, a bit too much air that occasion from Ali Khan, but nicely timed and placed.
And this one again is going to drop safely. Now they might think of a second. Yes, they will. And they're going to get it too. And again, I think the fielder should be very disappointed that they can't prevent the batsman from coming back for a second run there. Jerome was quickly onto it, but he still couldn't prevent that second run.
Hundred comes up with that wide.
Yep. They all count at this stage. 100 for 4. We're in the 17th over. And by the end of 18, at the end of 16, they were 119 for 3. And here again, risky business, but once they could get the runs, they don't mind what shot they play.
Yeah, 4 wickets down, but the run rate at this stage is going to require some risk.
And some adventure. And where is Kieron Pollard when you need him? This would have been tailor-made for him, especially when he was trying to break into the West Indies team. This one's hit in the air. That's a long hit, and that's gone. That's a powerful, beefy hit.
Well, just as you speak about him, see a monstrous hit that he would have certainly loved.
Yeah, that was right there in the slot, and Bisundat didn't miss out. So a quick check on the ball. The umpire is happy. Let's see if he can do it again. Bisundat on to 7. This time he hits it high in the air. The fielder is there, and he takes the catch. Well, after one almighty swing, he went for the repeat. But he couldn't get it done, and he goes for 7. It's a good catch. This one again was in the air for a very long time.
He has to go at the bowling. That wasn't the best option on that occasion, but still trying to go for every possible shot on offer.
So Ali Khan picks another pepper. $107 for 5 now. And really the bottom beginning to fall out of the Naparima innings.
So Veer Arjun now joining Aryan Mohammed.
Can he be the one to lift them to the promised land? 107 for 5, 17 going. Remember, the target is 165, so some ways away. And a swing and a miss again outside that off stump. So they've really had their issues out there.
He's just trying the same shot over and over again to Ramesa, but it's not working.
And look at him, he's batting on an off stump now. So he's trying to get closer to the ball in his setup. And this time it's spooning away.
Well, that batting on off stump worked on that occasion.
Yeah, because he started closer to the line that Ramesa has been bowling.
So Arjun about to face his first ball.
Yeah, when you consider they still need another 58 runs, they have 17 balls in which to get those. It's actually 100 and it's just another chance, and that one's taken as well. So again, Arjun cannot get the job done. 108 for 6 now.
Yeah, first ball that he's facing from Ramesa. Went for a huge hit on that occasion. That man was placed there waiting for it.
Yeah, the ball seemed to follow him. And so he was just kind of, I don't know if he was trying to protect himself as well, so he just kind of swung right across it. Never got on top of it, just hit it hard, high, but not far or far enough. And good running catch, taken out in the deep. So on the night when we've seen so many drop catches, we've also seen some pretty good catches as well.
Yeah, you get exactly the good and the bad when it comes to catches tonight.
So Orozco, Lucas Orozco is at the crease. The wicketkeeper, who did a decent job behind the stumps. Now they need him to be better than decent. They need him to be spectacular with the bat. Because nobody else seemed to be able to do much of anything by way of run scoring. Consistent run scoring. So those singles, especially what the Chagaunas need now to limit the run scoring, cut out the boundaries as much as possible, and keep things very, very tight. We had that one big 6, and then the very next ball, a wicket. So boundary is hard to come by, and the preservation of wickets also proven to be a bit of an issue here. They were cruising along quite nicely after 10 overs. Remember, they were 65 for 1. And then things started to happen, and they find themselves in this bit of a quagmire now, where they're probably going to have to take a risk every ball, and the law of averages sometimes work against you in that situation. So 110 for 6 now after 18. So 55 from 12. Really need a couple 6s here. Not just a couple, you need several.
Yeah, just 2 overs to go now. Requiring 27 and a half.
Yeah, they're 110. They're 20 runs adrift of where presentation Chagaunas, where they were doing 130 for 4 after 18 overs.
And it looks like we're going to have these two bowlers to close it out.
And that should be close, not out, says the umpire. Well, that was very, very close indeed, unless it hit him outside the leg stump. You look at it here, it might have pitched just outside leg, and that is what saved him there.
Yeah, looking at it on the replay, it definitely looked a bit more leg side than it looked in real time.
So Kanta Singh, or Ali Khan rather, 3 for 19. Really turned the game on its head with that double wicket over, where he picked up 2 wickets in the same over. It's been a bit of a procession ever since. 1-1-1 for 6. Nelson. And hit nicely and hit brilliantly. Good bit of fielding and just almost faked out his teammate. So Naps really, they need a big lift here. When I say lift, I mean aerial assault. This one is in the air, might be out caught, and just not able to get to it. And a good return, hits the stump directly, but the batsman was safely home. So again, another near miss by way of a shot just out of the reach of the fielders. We've seen so many of those tonight, where fielders just couldn't get a hand to a ball that was played aerially. Here's another one. In the air it goes. The keeper is after it, but he too can't get to it. And in fact, they're going back for a third run. The man is really overlapping his teammate, and then the ball struck him. As he was running into the crease, I don't think he saw where the ball was, and the ball seemed to hit the helmet as he was running through with his head down, trying to get into his crease. His teammate both of them almost ended up in the same crease. He was so far ahead of his teammate. Watch at it here. His teammate only now leaving to head to the non-striker's end. And in the end, it was a little bit dicey there for Mohammed Aryan.
That's like getting lapped on the racetrack.
Yep. Yeah. But that's good running, because that's aggressive running. Much better shot. That's a good cricketing shot. And again, the return from the deep strikes the stump. So 19 overs now completed. Just 1 to go. 119 for 6 now. They need 46 runs from 6 balls. So the asking rate is 46. So Naparima College, who for a lot of this game seemed to be right there and just kind of lost the plot in the middle overs, and now they find themselves in dire straits here. And it could be a battle of the Prez. It's a real battle. Prez San Fernando against Prez Chagaunas is looming, unless Naps could really pull something out of the hat here. And here's another appeal. He could be out, run out. And he is. The batsman at the non-striker's end wasn't interested at all. He just stood there. Orozco started to scamper down the wicket. Actually, it wasn't Orozco. It was the man on strike there trying his best to get to the non-strikers end, Mohammed. And he goes run out for 13.
He might have been feeling a bit guilty after that LBW shout. He might have just been wanting to subvert the umpire's attention.
So he decided to take off for a run, and Orozco didn't seem interested at all. So Jeremy Singh coming to the crease here now, and that's the thing, when you lose wickets at this stage of the game, it's a dot ball at the end of it, and that puts you into even more of a quagmire. So Ramesh 1 for 5, and he's in his third over. And another one sliced away, and again the catch, he couldn't hold on to it. He got his hands to it, and for a moment there it looked as if he had hauled it in. And a nice diving effort there, stretching out, and just couldn't maintain possession. And Orozco trying his best here to get things going. Wants a second run, and again another bubble out in the deep. And once they bubble it like that, there is always the possibility of a second run.
Yeah, they definitely don't want too many of those next week for the final.
Yeah, I think the coaches have a lot of work to do with some of these players, especially with their fielding and their concentration levels. This man has bowled beautifully and continues to bowl beautifully.
He really impressed me the first time I saw him at the National Cricket Centre. It was either a 4 or 5 wicket haul in one of those age group matches.
So 2 balls left. They need 43 runs. And played again into the deep, but just a single. So 1 ball to get 42. A case like that, if I was Ramesh, I bowling that right next to the umpire. There's no question of a no ball. The only thing I want to do is produce a wide. But now they have, look at the array of slip fielders. 6 slip fielders. Just the 1 ball. There's 1 man in front of square on the offside and 1 in front of square on the onside. There's also a leg slip. And he plays. Did he get an edge? No, he didn't. It doesn't matter. 123 for 7. Singh remains on 1. Orozco is 11. Comprehensive victory to Presentation College of Chagaunas. They are back in the final, and they will play their namesake, Presentation College of San Fernando, the team that dethroned them as league champions, and now they get a chance at repeating as Intercol champions and maybe exacting a little revenge as well. So 123 for 7 when it's all said and done. Victory by 41 runs. to Presentation College Chagaunas. And safe passage through to next Friday's final right here at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy. And certainly you would probably have to tip your hat to Cristiano Ramanan with his unbeaten knock of 68, 40 to Jerome. They were the two principal scorers, although Mohammed and Joseph gave them a good start, 19 and 17 respectively, adding a quick fire 35 before being separated. But then when it got to the nitty-gritty part, Julian made 24, Badri made 25, Ram Saran made 30, so they all got starts, but none of them could carry on. And then the bottom fell out of the batting, and they lost their way badly, Naparima College. So Pres Chagaunas are back in the final, and they will play Presentation College of San Fernando for the title a week from tonight. I think we'll also have the girls' Intercol final earlier, followed by the boys' final. And what a final that is expected to be. The two presentations will do battle. It's almost like the traditional secondary schools or the colleges league from in the past, Pres against Pres, to determine who will prevail. Only time will tell. We thank you for being with us, and we look forward to your company come next week when we'll do it all over again. So that is the situation here. Pres against Pres, and what a final we anticipate that to be. We hope you enjoyed it. The scores here once again. Presentation College of Chagaunas 164 for 5, batting first, and in reply, Naparima College could only get to 123 for 7 in their 20 overs. Victory by 41 runs to Pres Chagaunas. And we look forward to your company come next week. The invitation is there for you, so join us for that. But we still have a lot more coming here on 360 TV. We have golf tomorrow. There is so much happening. There's women's cricket taking place as well. So we hope you join us for that. And until such time, do have a good night, and we'll see you soon.